So recently I had the chance to talk with Brian Manzella. He's one of the top 50 teachers in America, and he was gracious enough to take a look at my swing because I was just struggling with ball striking. And one of the first things that he said is, what are you trying to do with your takeaway? And I've struggled with my takeaway for a long time. It's always kind of been a push. I couldn't fix it. So very quickly, within a few minutes, talked about how to fix it, what it needs to feel like. And so right now it's probably the best it's ever been. Ball striking is getting better. But the next issue that I had was, when do I set my wrists? Because with my old takeaway, I would push it away, and I know that my club would get a little flat. It wouldn't stand up enough. So this was just my own experimenting, is what kind of angle does your wrist kind of set at? So I'm going to go through that with you, and I'm going to put some examples of some PGA players, and you'll see that, hey, I'm not full of crap. All right, so I struggled when I took it away here, which is correct, is getting it to go up there without taking it away and then feeling like my old push move that would make the club go flat. Okay, so once you see these pictures, this is like an 8-iron. You're going to see that most tour players, when their club is actually set at position 3, or when the arm is parallel with the ground, it's at about like a 31 to 32 degree angle. All right, it gets a little bit greater as the club becomes longer, of course, because you're standing further from it. So I think Rory with his driver, I think it was around 42, something like that. Okay, so I'm going to hit a shot for you. That way you can kind of see the angle of it, and then I'll talk about the most easy way to figure it out. Oh, that was just terrible. So when I actually set my wrist at the right degree of angle, it feels like it's straight up in the air, but I know it's not. All right, so that's the difference between feel versus real that we often struggle with. So if you want to figure out, like with an 8-iron, at 31, 32 degrees, if you just take your arms out in front of you, you bend your right arm, and you can see that the club lays down just a little bit like that. When you get to position 3 here, you've got the correct angle, which might feel like it's really up and down. So you just have to practice taking it away and then kind of checking and see if it's still at that right angle. You do that, your takeaway, and when you set the club up, it will be a lot better. We always like to see the club kind of stand and then lay down, especially if you're somebody who wants to hit a draw and basically hit the ball better altogether. So I hope this helps you kind of figure out how to set your wrists, maybe a little bit on how to take the club away, what the angle that club needs to lay at when you set your wrists into your backswing.